So, tips and bits. It's the time again for tips and bits, and you know what that means, don't you, Zane?
Yes, I do.
Bits, tips and bits. Come on, everybody, it's tips and bits. There you go.
Hey, there we go. All right. So, as is tradition now with tips and bits, I segment it into 3 areas. We've got DC, we've got Marvel, and we've got MISC. Which do you want to go for first, Zaney baby?
Let's start off with some Marvel.
Let's start with Marvel indeed. All right. So, this is a fan favorite for both myself and I know for you as well.
Yeah.
But SpiderMan, the animated series showrunner, John Semper, has been doing an interview recently. And he's been talking, well, he was basically asked about X-Men 97, which is coming out. It's been confirmed to be coming out. And somebody said, somebody basically asked him, is there going to be a new Amazing Spider-Man series? Or Spider-Man the animated series. So for those of you who are not aware, because there's been loads of Spider-Man animated series over the years, we're talking about the one from the kind of early to mid 90s. So it was a staple of my childhood. I would argue this, along with Batman 89, is probably the thing that got me into comic books and got me to be a fan. So, yeah, let me just one sec. Let me just get this article up.
It's 1994 cartoon series, isn't it?
It is indeed. So, so anyway, there was an interview about this because the guy is co-writing Green Lantern Beware My Power, which is an animated series that's come out. And he was asked about it. It's a big, old, long speech. Like, it's a big quote. I won't read the whole thing out. We'll be here until Christmas. Basically, the gist of it is that he's very, very open to bringing that version of Spider-Man to a new generation who are totally unfamiliar with it. And he would love to kind of get on board with it again. So bearing in mind that there's a possibility that we could see this show resurrected a la X-Men 97. What are your thoughts on this, Zane? Are you excited? Would you like to see almost a revival, I guess, of the Spider-Man show from back in the early 90s?
Yeah, I would, because they did a lot with that series to connect it with like other shows as well. So, like you said, there's crossovers with the 97's X-Men. I think there was a crossover with the early 90s Iron Man cartoon series as well.
There was.
So there was
Blade.
a lot of Blade, yeah. So yeah, there was a lot of interconnections with other cartoon series. The only thing that concerns me is they're supposed to be doing a cartoon series based on Tom Holland's early years as Spider-Man before Civil War.
I hadn't heard about that. That's a weird one to do. Why would you do that? What, before he had any supervillains?
Literally before Civil War. So he hasn't got the Spidey suit. He's got like prototype suits that he's put together.
Well, I think if there's one thing that we can all agree on, and I you and I can both agree on this, and every fan was happy about, right? Every fan was happy about. It's that, Homecoming made the smart decision to reinvest into the origin story of Spider-Man, because that's what we all wanted to see again, right? We all want to see him getting bitten by the radio. Oh no, wait, they didn't do that, and it was the best thing ever that they didn't do that. So what do I not want to see? A TV show that takes us back to see how he got bitten by a spider.
Mm-hmm.
And then wears his pajamas.
And then there's the whole mystery around Uncle Ben, which at this point is kind of like, does it even matter now? Because
spoiler alert, guys. He gets shot and dies. There you go.
But I mean, like, in the sense of like spoilers for No Way Home, but Aunt May is the one who passed on the motto.
Yeah, I will say as well. Do we? I guess I was about to say, do we know that Uncle Ben existed in the MCU universe? Because she's the one who tells him about the great responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. It's not him. But then the other 2 Spider-Men go, she got it from Uncle Ben. And it's like, well, why didn't he say that to him then? I'm confused. You know what I mean?
So first off, great impersonation of Andrew Garfield. It was like he was in the room then.
Thank you. I have practiced.
Secondly,
I think there's brothers.
I think there's two references to Ben. The first one being in No Way Home. There's a scene where they cross the road, and I think he mentions his uncle, but that's it. And then
Right.
the second reference is from the What If. He mentions it's like the first time Tom Holland Spider-Man mentions Uncle Ben. And
How funny!
it's like,
how funny would it be if like in this reality? Because obviously, forgive me for portraying women in a certain light, but Marissa Tomei is smoking hot. How funny would it be if like Uncle Ben didn't actually get shot, but he was just a really deadbeat drunk like dad who like just left her and is like still alive and is like somewhere else? It's like,
oh no,
that would be amazing.
I don't think it
Make
would
it
be.
real, make it gritty.
Uncle Ben's supposed to be the purest, isn't he? The purest of.
He clearly taught Tom Holland Spider-Man nothing. Because Tony Stark was a better father than he ever was. Anyway,
Yeah,
moving on.
Yeah,
Moving on.
Happy was a better dad.
Yeah, no kidding, right? All right, so moving on. Deadpool 3, it is in development. It's been confirmed. There was an interview recently. This is via the Direct. Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, the writers, were asked about their script for the threequel and what it might contain, and will they be dropping in any kind of MCU trickery? Recently it was described by Reese, one of the writers, as a fish out of water story that will drop a lunatic into a very sane world. And now he has suggested that there is absolutely nothing off limits in the MCU for all Deadpool to poke fun at. This was an exact quote from Reese. How many movies have they given us? 25, 26, 28, something like that. We have a treasure trove of things to poke fun at now. And Deadpool's an equal opportunist, so everyone is fair game. He went on to say further on in the interview, now when it comes to a particular joke, if we cross a line, maybe we'll hear at some point, maybe not that joke, but I think that have been incredibly supportive of what we're doing, because obviously we were doing it separate from them for a long time, and I think that they've seen the success and they've had their own even greater success. So hopefully it'll be a marriage made in heaven, but we've definitely got their support, and that's a great thing to feel. So this story, it's not really anything for us to kind of like go, but there is something to say. What is there anything in particular, Zane? And I can go first if you want, but is there anything in particular that you want to see Deadpool 3 take the mick out of? Sorry, mock in for our international viewers. Take the mick as an English expression. Mock in the MCU. I would like to see them definitely mock Malekith. I think that would be hilarious. And I would also like to see them mock the idea that Ant-Man can go up people's butts.
Wow. Yeah. I'm just trying to think what else might be quite on the nose. Maybe Inhumans.
Yes, or Eternals.
Eternals, yeah. I guess. Yeah, I guess it's
Scarlett Johansson suing.
I don't know. That's
imagine if he just said, "I don't want to get into a lawsuit like Black Widow."
Or he'll probably say, like, "Is this going straight to Disney Plus?" Because that's you.
Am I still going to get the royalties if it goes to Disney Plus? That's exactly what they'll do. That's exactly what they'll do.
They'll do that line.
Oh dear. Well, there we go.
Actually, funny you should talk about Ant-Man and tackling Thanos. Have you seen the Quantumania cruise that's departed from Disney?
I was made aware of it recently, yes, by yourself. It looks absolutely mental.
So, during the cruise, there's a mini movie, and Ant-Man addresses the theory that
the butt thing. Yes, I saw that. Yeah. Yes. Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe they'll do a boys reference then for those of you who have seen the latest series, and he'll talk about I want Ant-Man down the end of my.
Yeah. There
you go. Anyway, all right. So, I'm excited to see Deadpool 3, and I think you are as well, Zane. So, it's gonna be a good time. So, moving on, I think one of the things that we were most excited about when Fox was bought out by Disney, was the realization that both the X-Men and the Fantastic Four are now back as part of the Marvel Studios universe.
Yes, sir.
We've all been excited to hear that the Fantastic Four has been announced.
Mhm.
We're all excited to see a particular supervillain that is announced, and we've all wanted Mads Mikkelsen to be cast in it. But this week, Zane, looks like some surprising news has come out in the universe. Is it true or not? I wonder. But it's worth reporting on. Howard Stern on his show has apparently confirmed that he has been cast as Doctor Doom. This was the exact quote by Howard Stern. This is coming via Uproxx. This is a quote from Howard Stern.
Mhm.
They're going over the schedule with me and it's going to suck. Well, I told you I'm going to do Doctor Doom, but believe me, I'm effing miserable about it. I called Robert Downey Jr. and I was asking him for acting techniques. It's a nightmare. So, Zane, I say this with a certain tongue-in-cheek and sarcastic flair. Do you think Howard Stern's been cast as Doctor Doom?
So I've heard different rumblings about this, because this voice clip was taken like during the break of his like radio show or podcast or something.
Right.
And
yeah,
like,
so... go on.
The theory, the theory and stuff that I've read has been that maybe he has a role on the movie as himself, but like hosting a radio show for maybe the Victor Von Doom character.
Yeah, so Odin's Fate was at Up to Task on Twitter, was the guy who broke it, and he said, just waking up in the morning, I've got to thank God. So this is interesting. On the Howard Stern show today, they ended the episode to go on summer break, and they had a hot mic on. Did Stern say he's involved with the Doctor Doom project with Jon Favreau?
Here we go.
So, and then he's put a link to the audio in there. I mean, I wonder. Do you know what? Thinking about this some more, the guy who was directing Fantastic Four left.
John Watts.
What? Yeah. What if Favreau's picked up the mantle and is going to direct Fantastic Four, and they just haven't announced it yet?
They're going to be at Marvel. Again, I don't know. I'm probably jumping ahead in your tips and bits here, but Marvel are going to be at San Diego Comic-Con this year for the first time in like a while.
Yes, which makes sense because I didn't have it in my news because I didn't think it was particularly noteworthy, but now we're talking about it. This also goes in line with the thing that Feige said last week, where he said that in the next couple of months you're going to get an idea of exactly where Phase 5 is going to be going, because we covered it on the show I think last week where we talked about it. So yeah, maybe they're going to announce something massive at San Diego, which will like it's going to be the Wakanda Forever trailer, isn't it? Like there's no two ways about it. It's going to be the Wakanda Forever trailer, possibly. And I would guess casting for Fantastic Four. We might know and who the baddie is, maybe, because that could be a big reveal as to where it's going. Because if they reveal Silver Surfer is in it, well, then we know it's going to be Galactus, kind of thing. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't do it without having. So, interesting. Well, watch this space. I'm gonna call it there for Marvel news this week. And I'm going to save DC news right till the end because it's a good one, and you know it's a good one because you've heard about it already. So I'm going to save that one. Oh, that's right. I'm doing it. So miscellaneous news this week: Godzilla versus Kong. It was the other film that I watched on the plane that I couldn't remember what it was, Zane. It came back to me. That was how much I really cared about it. It was all right. It was fine. I did the Kong stuff was very good. I have to. I do like the animation behind his features is so cool. But yeah. Anyway, so it finally has a release date, Zane. Kong versus Godzilla 2. This time it's monkey business. I've added that extra bit. It's going to be coming out in March 15th, 2024. So we have a long time to wait for it. Adam Wingard is returning. The untitled blockbuster is rumored to be Son of Kong.
What?
That's what it's apparently rumored to be called. Son of Kong.
What? And then he fights like Godzuki or something.
Godzilla's future in Legendary Monsterverse is unclear after Toho laid out plans to tell their own stories with the iconic kaiju, so don't go into this one necessarily expecting an epic rematch. I mean, the first one was like... it was funny because the way that Kong kind of matched Godzilla was just by getting a makeshift axe.
A magic axe.
Yeah, magic axe made out of one of Godzilla's spines, seemingly. So I don't know what. Anyway, it was weird, but it was fine. So yeah, that's coming out in 2024. We also got an announcement as to this is via Deadline, by the way. Denis Villeneuve's Dune Part 2 has been moved, so it is no longer coming out on October 20th. It's been knocked back a month to November 17th, 2023. Okay. So it will be coming out next year towards the end of the year, presumably in just before the Christmas rush. Excited to see both of these. Sad that Kong is going to be a long time off. I know you're a big fan of monkey business Kong and Godzilla-y nightmarish.
As a weeb, as an anime boy, I love, kaiju action. I'm quite surprised.
Right. Sorry, can we just merchandise that? Undisputed Nerds or Undisputed Anime. As a weeb, I'm a fan of kaiju action.
Print it. I'm surprised that that they get away to use Godzilla again, because my understanding was that they had a 3-picture deal to use Godzilla, and then it would, as you say, go back to Toei Animation. Because Toho. They've been Toho, sorry. They've been hinting at like some other projects, like so more specifically, they did like Shin Godzilla. They've just recently done Shin Ultraman, and I think there's Shin Kandam Rider, which is supposed to be kind of like this whole, not cinematic universe, but again, kind of this franchise thing. So I'm kind of surprised if they get away to use the Godzilla name again. Even if it is for like 8 minutes worth of screen time, like the first movie.
It is also interesting that June has been put into the November slot, that November 17th slot, because that's coming up to the Thanksgiving weekend in America. So normally it's quite, in the past it's been reserved for quite heavy hitting franchise films. So Fantastic Beasts is previous, not this last one, but the one before it, and like the couple before that have come out in November time because of that weekend. Justice League has also come out on that weekend because of Thanksgiving weekend. And it's interesting that Doom is being propositioned as kind of a heavy hitter now for Warner Brothers, because on that same weekend, you've got the Hunger Games prequel is coming out, as is the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is I can't remember who's in it, but it's supposed to be a big film. Trolls 3 from a kids entertainment perspective is coming out that weekend, and also John Krasinski's, so there's a movie that John Krasinski's directing that he hasn't titled yet that has Ryan Reynolds in it that is also coming out then. So it's like it's going to be a massive weekend for like budget films basically, and big time films. So it is interesting that Warner Brothers are positioning this as like, clearly they have some faith after the first Dune performed so well that this is going to be a big time hit for them. But interesting
moves.
Speaking of also interesting moves and things that are confirmed, Deadline again have reported that divisive it was to some, although I super enjoyed it, Ghostbusters Afterlife is getting a sequel. The acclaimed Academy of Sony Pictures announced during CinemaCon earlier this year that they were going to be looking to do a Ghostbusters Afterlife sequel. They have now confirmed that the sequel will hit theaters on December 20th, 2023. So it's going to be a Christmas movie. And it'll be returning to the franchise's familiar location of New York City.
Cool.
Main cast members returning: Carrie Coon, Finn Wolfhard, McKenna Grace, and Paul Rudd. They're all expected to return, but not clear right now if, spoiler alert guys for the film, not clear if OG's Murray Ackroyd and will return, but Ernie Hudson will definitely be back.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, because of course he's running Ghostbusters Enterprise, isn't he? The post-credit sequence.
I don't think I saw the post credits.
Okay. They've literally here. Here you go. Here, I will read. So spoilers, guys. For those who have not seen Afterlife, I'm about to ruin the end credits.
I didn't even know there was a post credits.
In Afterlife's post-credit scene, we saw Winston return to the team's old firehouse headquarters, where the refurbished Ecto-1 was sitting. Though nothing has been confirmed just yet, the implication was that Zedmore was planning to train a new group of spook hunters. Director Jason Reitman told CinemaCon attendees that the character of Winston Zedmore and Zedmore Industries feature strongly into the future of Ghostbusters. So it's Ghostbusters Inc., baby. We're going to get...
Oh, wow.
It could be Next Generation. I'd like to see them, like, because there was a TV series with a cartoon series, sorry, of like, and I think it was called Ghostbusters Extreme or something like that. But it was like the next generation of Ghostbusters. Like one of them was in a wheelchair and stuff, and it was really good. Like it was a cool like TV show. So maybe we're going to get that possibly. But yeah, sorry, are you excited to see more Ghostbusters?
Yeah, I really enjoyed Afterlife. Who's directing, out of interest? Is it the
same director? Yeah, it's Reitman again.
Yeah. Can you imagine if they gave it to the Duffel brothers?
The Duffer brothers.
Duffel bag brothers.
No.
the Duffel bag brothers.
Yeah, they're obviously I'm not sure if the Duffel bag brothers are going to get it, but I heard that the Trenchcoat twins are in for it as well, so that's good.
Do you know what they keep in their duffel bags?
I don't want to know, mate. I'm terrified.
Not only that Netflix money, but all the horror movie references that you love.
You mean until Stranger Things Volume 5 turns out to be terrible, and then everyone turns on them and hates them, a la Weissman and Benioff?
Who?
I did a joke today about because a friend of ours has moved up north. He's gone up to the north of England. To Yorkshire. He'll never listen to this, but I love you, Benedict. And he was down today, and I we were talking about the fact that like it's weird during the horrible event that happened that kept everyone indoors for 2 years. That it's like he's been gone for 2 years, and it doesn't feel like he's been gone for 2 years because we've all just been indoors. And I said, well, nobody remembers you anyway because you've effectively just gone up north and joined the Black Watch or the Night Watch or whatever they were called, and nobody got it. And I was like, man, like 5 years ago, that joke would have been hilarious. Everyone's just put it in the column in their mind of just like, nope, never again. All right, so the final bit of news this week. Zane, you know what's coming. I got to talk about it, even though it has apparently been revealed to be untrue, but we'll just roll with it anyway.
Yeah.
So, it wouldn't be tips and bits, guys, if I didn't have some Ezra Miller news, would it? Come on. So apparently, Ezra Miller has been in Tokyo, and he was spotted in Tokyo, and he was reportedly. I wish that. Right, I'm going to say this right now. Okay. TMZ have come out and confirmed that this story is not true. It didn't happen. The guy in question was not in the same building as him, which is going to be even more funny when I tell this joke in a second. But Elvis star Austin Butler was reported to have punched Ezra Miller in the face. Several eyewitnesses claim to have spotted the Flash star in a bar in Tokyo where Elvis actor Austin Butler was also enjoying a few drinks with friends. Apparently, Miller approached the group and after becoming visibly aggressive and raising their voice, Butler punched them in the face. I don't know why. I'm laughing at the idea of a famous person who's like looks like Elvis punching Ezra Miller in the face. I don't know why I find that so funny. But anyway.
I have seen this a lot on TikTok, and it's kind of like the weird idea of Elvis fighting the Flash. is a weird concept to kind of in Tokyo of all places as well. It's not like it's in Vegas or.
I picture them just growing up to kaiju size and like fighting amongst the landscape.
Or Elvis like having insight and being able to predict his movements, his speed-like movements.
Yeah, Ezra Miller just bringing out his cavalcade of choke slams to deal with him. Anyway, so just to confirm, guys, so that we don't get sued, TMZ have confirmed This didn't happen. None of it happened. It's just a funny story that I like to imagine did happen. And that's the end of Tips and Bits this week, Zane. And that's the end of the Undisputed Nerds podcast. Oh, God. So, anyway, do you have any tips and bits that you wanted us to talk about this week? If so, write in, let us know.